Hey writers, welcome back to Writers Workshop. So writers, I know that you all today will be moving on to write even more chapters. And last time we met, we focused on the chapters that we knew we would have so much to write about and so much information to share. But sometimes writers get to a chapter and they realize they don't really have that much to say about that chapter or that part. For example, let's say we add a chapter to our class book on bikes and we call the chapter Getting Ready for a Bike Trip. Now, I was thinking for that chapter, I would just write, bring some food and water. But I realized it's not really much to say for a whole chapter. And a tip I remembered is to always write with details. Even though all I really want to say is to bring some food and water, the secret is to tell details about the food and water, and I bet I will be able to write an entire page. So let's think. What details could I say about bringing food on a bike trip? It helps me to think of what I would or would not pack, and then I realize there are more details that I can add. For example, would I pack an ice cream cone for a bike ride lunch? No, that is absolutely silly. It would melt. It would probably not be super good for my tummy as I'm exercising. It would be so silly. So I need to think of some details and give those details to my readers of what to pack and maybe what not to pack. And that already is giving me ideas of more to add instead of just saying, bring some food and water. I'm able to add more details about what types of food they should bring or they shouldn't. So let's see, can you think of food that I should tell my readers they should bring to pack on a bike ride lunch? See if you can whisper it to me. Ooh, I've heard some good answers. That's right, we might pack some fruits and vegetables like a banana. We might pack a sandwich and wrap it up nicely. We might pack some carrots, all sorts of things. And that right there already gave me details, things that I can add to my chapter to tell more and to help the reader understand and imagine it in their brain even better. So writers, today I want to teach you that you don't just tell a fact in detail, you help the reader picture that fact, that detail in their mind so they can understand why that fact matters. And one way you can do that is by making comparisons. So let me show you an example of how my friend used comparisons to explain something to me. So the other day, I was working on my computer and my computer froze. I clicked on the mouse and it did nothing. I clicked on the keyboard and nothing happened. Has that ever happened to you? I think in virtual learning, it's happened to all of us and it drives us crazy, right? So I called up my good friend because she knows so much about computers. And I asked if she could help. And when I explained to her what was going on, how my computer was frozen, it wasn't doing anything, she said, I know what the problem is. So much information has been traveling into your computer that it's just like there are too many cars on a road. And so there's a traffic jam and nothing can move. And when my friend said that, it was like it was a traffic jam of information inside of my computer, I could actually picture what she was saying. And nonfiction writers do this all the time. They compare something that is easy to picture with something that is hard to picture so that the reader can better understand. Instead of my friend just telling me, oh, too much information going into your computer, when she said, well, Miss Lanning, too much information is going into your computer, and just like when there's too many cars on the road, it causes a traffic jam. And when she made that comparison, I was able to actually understand what the issue was and see what was going on. So we also know it's helpful when we look at real-life examples of how authors do this. So let's look and see how our author Anne does this in the book Sharks. And we'll see on page 7, she is teaching all about shark's skin. And then she adds a comparison to help the readers picture it. So it says, shark skin feels bumpy and rough. It's hard like sandpaper. It protects sharks and helps them swim faster. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but I have never been able to touch shark skin. And honestly, I don't know if I'd want to. They kind of scare me. So I've never touched shark skin. But when the author Anne said that shark skin was like sandpaper, I've touched sandpaper quite a few times, and I can imagine that in my mind because she made a comparison to something I have experienced and something I do know about. So now I really can imagine what shark skin feels like, even though I've never felt it, because she compared it to sandpaper. So I can truly imagine it because of the comparison that Anne made. So let's practice making comparisons. Writers, can you try to use comparisons to help our readers picture something about our book? For example, what comparison would you use to describe what a bike path is? Maybe you compare a bike path to a road, and you can tell the readers a bike path is like a small road that's made for bikes instead of cars. Maybe the reader hasn't seen a bike path before, but they've seen a road. So when you compare it to that and you tell them it is just like a smaller road that's designed for bikes instead of cars, they can truly picture it in their mind and understand it better. So writers, let's add this to our How Can I Teach My Readers chart. Let's add making comparisons. And to review a few things on our chart, we have think about questions my readers may ask, write in twin sentences, include pictures, use size, shape, and color words, and we also want to add make a comparison, just like Anne did when she said that the shark skin was like sandpaper. Something else that we did to add details earlier was we gave examples. Like when we were talking about what to pack for a bike ride, what type of food, we gave specific examples. We didn't just say bring food or water, we gave examples. You should pack food and water. For example, you could pack a banana, you could pack a sandwich. You should not pack ice cream. So silly. So that is another strategy you can use in your teaching books, is to give an example. So now we've got our chart. So writers, as you go off to write today, I want you to remember that your job as writers of chapter books is to teach readers as much as you can about the topic. To teach well, you're going to need to say a lot about your topic. And as you write, I want you to think about how you can make the new chapters that you write today even bigger and fill them up with even more great information. You can use our strategy like making comparisons or giving specific examples. All right, friends, it's your turn to go work on your amazing stories. Writers, go write.